Good morning, my dear students. Welcome back to our English first class grammar section. I think that you remember what we have already covered from 8 parts of speech. We have already covered nouns, adjectives, and pronouns. I hope that you remember all these and you must have revised it since you have written your TP. And today we are going to study about verbs. Verbs are very familiar to you, and without verbs we cannot form a sentence. It is essential in a sentence to have verbs. What is a verb? Verb is an action word. It can be an action or a state of being. And this is the main part of a sentence. Unless there is a verb, the sentence is incomplete. We have already studied it and we know it and we use it in our sentences. Okay, and these verbs can be called as action words or state of being. Okay, action words, you know, the actions which we do every day: work, eat, jump, run, etc. All these are action words. And state of being is all the be forms. Children, do you remember which are the be forms of the sentences? Be forms in a sentence: is, are, or are, was, were, be, being, etc. And these be forms will be used as state of being in a sentence. That can also function as verb in certain contexts. It can also function as helping verbs. Sometimes it will be the main verbs that you have already learned in your last class, 6th standard. I think that you remember it. Okay, let's look some examples. Here the sentence is Arun runs fast. Okay, and let's divide the structure of the sentence, or let's examine the structure of the sentence. Arun runs fast. Okay, Arun, subject, runs, that's action word, isn't it? Okay, so this is verb, this is adverb only. Okay, and that means there should be a subject and verb, or subject and predicate. This part is called predicate. Verb comes in the part of predicate. So if you divide broadly this sentence, this part is called subject part and this is called predicate part. Verb comes in the part of predicate. So tell me, or do you know whether it is an action word or a state of being? What do you understand by run? Okay, that means Arun does the action. So that is an action word. So that is called action verb. Okay, Arun runs fast. Next sentence is he is immature. Okay, and what is the structure of this sentence? Here subject and this is predicate. Okay, and what is the main verb here? This is the main verb. Okay, so it does not do any action here. He is immature. If you take that sentence, you won't get any idea of what the subject is doing. But that's a state of being. Okay, that means he is in that state. So this is called state of being. Verb in the category of state of being. It tells us of a state of being of this he. So these kinds of be forms of verbs, all the be forms of verbs are state of being. Okay, and next one, the sky appeared cloudy. Certain other verbs are also called state of being. This is like appear, seem, become, etc. Okay, appear, seem, become. It all tells us about a state. Okay, for example, the sky appeared cloudy. Okay, it doesn't do any action here. Sky doesn't do any action. Instead, that's a state of being at present. If you look at the sky, you will feel that that's cloudy. Okay, that's a state of being of sky. So this can be used in the sense of state of being. The verb in the case of state of being. And next one is Kolkata is a big city. Okay, what is the subject and predicate here? Kolkata, that's the subject part. And here this is predicate part. Verb comes in the part of predicate. So what's the main verb here? Is the main verb here. Okay, so this is a stated being. That is a stated being of Calcutta. Children, do you remember these be forms can be used as main verb as well as helping verbs? I think that you remember it. For example, I'll write a sentence. He is running fast. He is running fast. Okay, so what is the main verb here? Running. And what is the use of this is? This is a helping verb to form a tense. Okay, helping verbs are used to form tenses, numbers, etc. Okay, so since this is a single person, the number is singular. Here is used. Otherwise, if it was they, the verb will be, the helping verb form will be changing and the sentence will be they are running fast. Okay. Please remember this. Hope that you understood what's a verb. Already you have studied this only. Again, the verbs can be divided into finite verbs and non-finite verbs. Do you remember what we have learned last year about finite and non-finite verbs? Finite verbs has a subject and tense. The verb which has a subject and tense is called finite verbs. In a sentence, if we want to complete a sentence, there should be a finite verb. We'll see the examples later. And the second category is non-finite verbs. And present, past, participle and two infinitive forms of verbs form non-finite types. You will see with the example, then it will be clear for you. And you should see. We want Charlie to act as club secretary. Okay, let's divide the structure of this sentence. Okay, here, if we divide it into broadly, if we divide the subject and the rest is predicate. Okay, we want Charlie to act as club secretary, that is predicate part. Okay, where it should come, verb comes in the part of predicate, not in the part of subject, it comes in the part of predicate. Okay, so the subject. And what's the main verb here? Want. Want is the main verb. Any other verbs or any other verb is there? Can you find? Okay. If you take this act, act is the verb. We want Charlie to act as club secretary. How many verbs are there? Want is one verb, another one is act. And without this verb, this is incomplete. Okay. And here you see, we want Charlie to act as club secretary. And in which category it can be included? That is to infinitive. Okay. That means even if we use even if we change the tense or the subject, this verb remains the same. For example, if I take this as she, and if we use she wants, see the change here in the verb here, main verb, she wants Charlie to act as club secretary. You see there is no change for this verb, but only for the main verb or the finite verb. The change is always with the finite verb. It changes with the subject and tense. Okay. And if we take this as, if we want to use it in the past tense, for example, we wanted. Okay, we'll use the we wanted Charlie to act. There is no change for to act. It remains the same. So there is no change with the tense or number or any other things. So this is called non-finite. Non-finite verbs will not change its tense or number or anything according to the tense and number or subject. Okay. Here, take the second example. I like taking photos of insects. Okay, but let's divide the sentence. This is I subject, like main verb, and this part is predicate. As a whole, if you use this is predicate part, and like any other verb is there. Can you find any other verb? Taking this use in sentences as verbs, isn't it? But in this sentence, it is not used as the main verb, isn't it? What is the main verb here? Like. I like taking photos of insects, and this is included in participle, present participle. ing forms are present participle. Okay, so I like taking photos of insects. And let's change the subject and let's examine whether there is a change in the structure of the verb according to the subject. She likes. See, the change is here. She likes taking photos of insects. There is no change from this taking. Okay, and if we use they, and if it is in a continuous tense, they are liking taking photos of insects. Okay, there is no change for the taking. So this can be included, or this can be called as non-finite verb. Again, worn out by the heat, they stopped for a drink. Okay, I think that you remember what we last year we have learned what is a phrase and what is a clause. What is a phrase? Phrase, that is a group of words. It cannot give complete sense. But clause, just like a sentence, there should be subject and predicate, and it gives meaning. Isn't it? There should be subject and predicate. Here, if we divide the structure of the sentence, we can call this part as a clause. Sorry, phrase. This can be called as a phrase because this is a group of words. There is no subject or predicate, we can say. And this is the main clause here. They stopped for a drink. And what's the main verb here? If it is a clause, what should be the main verb here? Here lies the main verb. They stopped. This is subject and this is predicate part. Okay. Verb lies in the part of predicate. They stopped for a drink. This is the main verb. It changes according to the number. If it is changing, for example, if the tense is changing, there will be changes with the verb. Okay. And worn out. This worn out is used as a verb also in other sentences. Okay. But here it is not used as a main verb or a finite verb. Okay. What's the function of it? It functions as a non-finite verb. Because even if we change the tense or number or the subject, there is no change from this worn out. It remains the same. So this is called non-finite verb. When worn out is included in the part of participle, or it can be said that it's also the same is used. Sorry, that is participle. It comes in the part of participle. Okay, where, wore and worn. Okay, that is in the part of participle. Next sentence. I like to get up early at the weekend. Okay, let's divide the structure of this sentence. Subject, I like to get up early at the weekend. That's predicate part. Okay, and what's the main verb? Like. Like is the main verb. Any other verb is the to get up. Okay, but it does not change according to the tense or number. Subject, that means subject. So this is called non-finite verb. It comes in the part of two infinitives, and two infinitives verbs will not be changing according to the subject or tense. The last sentence, Shyam dislikes cleaning the cooker. What's the subject? Shyam. Here, dislikes main verb. Cleaning, this is also a verb, but does not change according to the subject or tense. For example, if it is they. The main verb will be changing. Its structure will be changing. It will be used. They dislike cleaning the cooker. Or for this, mother dislikes. Or if we use he dislikes. Or if it is we dislike. There is a change. Change in the main verb, not in the non-finite. I think that is clear. Finite verb will be changing according to the tense and subject, whereas the non-finite will not have any change according to the tense or subject. Clear? The next division of verbs are transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. This we have already learned last year. Still we'll check or we'll recall whatever we have studied. And transitive verb requires a receiver in order to complete the sense. An intransitive verb doesn't require a receiver to complete the sense. Okay, and what is a doer and receiver in a sentence? Doer is the subject and receiver is the object. Okay, for example, if you take the sentence, I gave him a pen. Okay, and here I subject, gave verb, him object, again a pen is object. This transitive verb can have a direct object and indirect object, or a direct object or indirect object. That means there should be an object in a transitive verb. A transitive verb should have a receiver or an object. How to find out the object? Do you remember? You ask the verb the question, what or whom. If you get the answer, where is object in a sentence? If I ask the question, I give whom a pen, you will get the answer him. So whom, if you get the answer for whom, that is indirect object, and I gave him what? A pen. Okay, and if you get the answer to what, that is direct object. Okay, so here it has two objects, and transitive verb will have an object. Sometimes there will be only direct object, sometimes only there will be indirect object, sometimes there will be both objects. Okay, but it is must that there must be an object. That is the thing. And next sentence, he laughs. Okay, certain verbs like arrive, complain, laugh, become, smile. Okay, and all these are action words. Okay, verbs of action. Certain action words always remain as intransitive verbs. Okay, these verbs, transitive verbs, the verbs which we use in the transitive verbs will be used in intransitive verb, but this is compulsory that arrive, complain, laugh, become, smile, etc. These verbs will remain only as intransitive verb because it doesn't need a receiver to complete the sense in any case. For example, if I say, I arrived at Kochi. I arrived at Kochi. That means that is not an object. Kochi, that is not an object. Okay, here she complained. That's with that the sentence is complete. It doesn't require an object to complain. Object to complete the sentence. Or he laughs. It's complete. The sentence is complete. It doesn't require an object to complete the sentence. And the earth becomes hot. Hot is an adjective only. That is not an object in a sentence. Okay, that's why it always remains as intransitive in sentences. They smile. We cannot say what or whom. We cannot use an object there. So it always remains as intransitive. These verbs always remains as intransitive verbs. Plus, Verbs of being. Already we have learned what are verbs of being. All the be forms of verbs. For example, is, or are, was, were, will be, been, etc. Okay, and these verbs of being. For example, the sentence: she is a doctor. She subject is main verb, and here this is adjective complement. It comes as a complement. So here is used as a main verb. This is intransitive because it doesn't have an object to complete its sense. Without having the object, the sentence is complete. It doesn't require an object to complete the sentence. So this is intransitive verb because it doesn't progress from verb to object, like the first sentence: I gave him. There is a receiver, but here there is no receiver of the action. There is no object. And always these verbs of being are called linking verbs. Why is it called linking verbs? Because it links the subject or complement and complement, or subject or whatever be the last part of the verb. It links. So this is called, the verbs of being are also called in other name. What is that? That is linking verbs. Let's see more examples. I hope that these examples, transitive and intransitive verbs, will be clear for you. We'll take these examples and we'll divide the structure. We'll find the structure of the sentence so that it will help you to identify whether it is a transitive verb or intransitive verb. She drove fast. She drove fast. Let's divide the sentence, the structure of the sentence. She, subject, drove, verb, fast is, that is adverb only. Okay. She drove fast. So, tell me, or can you identify whether it is a transitive verb or intransitive verb? Does it have a receiver of the action? She, subject. Does the verb progresses from subject to receiver? Does it doer to receiver? Okay. She drove what? If there is what, if there was an answer, definitely there must have been an object. Or she drove whom? That's not possible. Still, if we get the answer for whom, there must be an object. And since there are no answers for both these questions, there are no objects in the sentence. So, is it a transitive or intransitive verb? That is definitely intransitive verb because the verb does not progresses from subject to object or doer to receiver. So it becomes, or it belong to the intransitive verb. Next example, birds fly. What is subject? Birds fly, verb. And without having an object, this is complete in its sense. So this fly is intransitive verb because it doesn't have an object. Third one is he is riding a scooter. Subject and predicate part. He, subject, is riding, verb, a scooter, object or receiver of the action. And the verb is proceeding from subject to receiver. He is riding what? You will get the answer there. A scooter. So a scooter is an object in the sentence. So it belongs to the category of transitive verb because it is progressing from doer to receiver. So this is in the category of transitive verb because it has an agent or receiver of the action. Next sentence, my friend wrote me a letter. Okay, this is subject and this is predicate part. My friend, subject, wrote main verb. Does it have a receiver? If you ask the question what or whom, you will get the answer. My friend wrote whom? Me. You will get the answer me. So that is indirect object. my friend wrote what? You will get the answer letter. So there are two receivers of the action. That means there is direct object as well as indirect object. Direct object is received by asking the question what, and indirect object is attained by asking the question whom. And this is indirect object, me is direct object, and a letter is direct object. So this wrote is a transitive verb. It has object. Next sentence, please fetch me a glass of water. You know that is in the category of request. Okay, that means imperative sentence. That's in the category of imperative sentence. Please fetch me a glass of water. Fetch the verb, and this is object. Fetch, whom. Me answers the question whom. That is indirect object. A glass of water, that is direct object because it answers the question what. So this fetch is a transitive verb. Fetch is transitive verb. Next one, they are late. Subject and predicate. They are late is predicate. They does it have this? Which is the main verb here? Are is the main verb. What is this? That's definitely complement in the sentence. So there is no receiver of the action here. The verb doesn't proceed to the receiver. It remains without having the receiver. The sentence is complete. You know that the sentence is complete in itself. So since it doesn't have an object, this is in the category of intransitive verb. Also, this R is called linking verb because it links they and late complement, subject and complement, links subject and complement. So it is called linking verb or intransitive. This is in the category of intransitive verb. All the verbs of being are called linking verbs. Last example, she is beautiful. Okay. She, subject, and this is predicate part. This beautiful is predicate part. And which is the main verb here? Is. It doesn't have an object or receiver. It doesn't have a receiver. And what is this? This is the adjective, that is complement. This part in the part of complement. That is why, since it doesn't have a receiver of the action, and this is called intransitive verb. And this verb is also called linking verb or verb of being. I think that all these are clear for you. Once we will record what we have learned. First we have studied finite verbs and non-finite verbs. Finite verbs changes according to the tense or number, but non-finite doesn't. Okay. And next we have learned about transitive and intransitive verbs. In that we have divided the transitive verb has direct object or indirect object, but intransitive verb doesn't have an object. Without the object, the sentence is complete. And intransitive verbs, some verbs are included only or remains only as intransitive verb. We have learned which are those, and some other verbs are also there. Some of it we have learned. And also all the be forms of verbs, they are included in intransitive verb. Okay, now today you have to do some exercise based on this, what we have learned. First you have to read the lesson, go through it. Page number 44, there is one exercise, let's practice at the beginning of the page. Please read the following passage, circle the transitive verb and underline their objects. If you will find whether it is a transitive verb, and after that if it is a transitive verb, there must be an object. So underline the object. Again, page number 45, the words given below are jumbled order. You have to rearrange that. You have to rearrange that order and you have to make it a correct sentence. And after that, underline verbs of action and verbs of being and mention their type. Okay, that is your verb. You have to underline the verbs of action, and if it is a verb of action, you have to write in the right side verb of action. If it is a verb of being, you have to write on verb of being. So this is your work for today. So that's all for today.